Hi all, I'm Natalie. Welcome back to my channel. This channel is dedicated to protecting vulnerable people from exploitation. We focus on women and children, recovery, grooming, and toxic relationships. And today we are going to talk about TJ Hoover. TJ was an addict that had an overdose and he ended up going to the hospital and was brain dead. But he was an organ donor, so they came in and they were about to take his organs and he had brain activity again. But they were still talking about taking his organs, and a nurse had to stop them. This case will make you question being an organ donor, and it will also make you question doctors, nurses, and even going to the hospital when you're sick. This case has led to federal investigations in Kentucky and reforms. Let's check out this case. You guys tell me what you think, and if you're still going to be an organ donor after watching this.
Yeah, I got you by the hand.
You're my sister.
Yeah. My life has changed tremendously. I lost my job. I lost my livelihood. I lost my existence. My life is focused solely on TJ now as a caregiver 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He is my life now. My needs are secondary to TJ and what he needs.
In 2021, TJ Hoover woke up on the operating table as Kentucky surgeons in a small hospital were about to harvest his organs. He began weeping, thrashing, putting his knees to his chest and batting away the surgeon's hands. That horrifying experience was arguably far worse than the original reason he was rushed to the rural emergency room. TJ had suffered a heart attack after overdosing on heroin and meth. Donna Rohrer was jolted awake in October 2021 by a middle-of-the-night phone call from her little brother's girlfriend. TJ had collapsed and was unresponsive, the woman said.
My response was I got up, got dressed, and went straight to the hospital. And they got him situated in the ICU. They had already told us at that point that it looked like his brain had suffered damage and that he was on the ventilator. His brain was not really responding to any of the testing that they were doing. And the prognosis was grave.
The family did not know TJ had signed up to be an organ donor, nor did they realize an organ procurement organization team was now at the hospital watching his condition, viewing his medical records, and speaking with his nurses and doctors. Many Americans don't know that organ procurement organizations, known as OPOs, coordinate all U.S. transplants. They operate under federal contracts. Kentucky Organ Donor Affiliates, now known as Network for Hope, following 2024 merger, handled TJ's case.
And that's when the CODA people pulled us into an office telling us TJ was a registered organ donor and was asking us if we wanted to follow TJ's wishes. And of course, we wanted to follow TJ's wishes.
TJ had always been a sensitive soul, his sister says. He loved being outside. He hiked all over just to watch and observe nature. As a teen, he enlisted in Job Corps to study carpentry. He was sent south in 2005 to help with hurricane cleanup. He came back broken.
He had to drag bodies through the water. He had to put dead bodies in trailer parts of the semis. It damaged TJ forever. And at that point, he turned to drugs.
TJ fought the monster of addiction for the rest of his life, ending up comatose in a local hospital in October 2021, with his family keeping vigil to see if he would awaken. 2 days later, after testing TJ's heart and other organs for transplantation, TJ's honor walk took place, and he was wheeled into the operating room to remove his organs. Donna said her brother's eyes were open and tracking people lining the hallway to the operating room.
That is so
They
weird.
told us it would be a 5-hour procedure, that we would just wait in the waiting room. About 45 minutes to an hour, the physician pulled us a chair up and told us he's not ready. He woke up.
Another thing that TJ's relatives say they didn't know, he had actually woken up the day before when his heart was being tested to determine if it was viable for transplantation. But Nikki Martin knew it. Nikki Martin is a former surgical preservation coordinator with Kentucky organ donor affiliates. She became a federal whistleblower after quitting her job at CODA, saying it botched Hoover's case in a rush to obtain organs. More than 100,000 people are languishing on the nation's waiting list. She described what happened during TJ's cardiac test the day before his scheduled transplant surgery, according to his medical records.
He was taken to the cath lab, completely unresponsive. During his cardiac cath, he actually woke up for the very first time. He's understanding what's going on. He's trying to take away the doctor's hands because cardiac cath can be painful. He's crying, he's thrashing around. That's a change in neurological status. So at that point, that case should have been completely halted.
Martin says she was on her way to the hospital the next day to assist in Hoover's organ removal when a colleague called to tell her that things had gone terribly wrong, and a CODA supervisor was pushing for the organ harvesting to continue, despite Hoover thrashing on the operating table.
I overheard the conversation while I was on the phone. I'm aware of what was going on in real time. I actually never got to the hospital. The case was stopped before I got there. The declaring physician in TJ's case said, "We're not doing this." The surgeon who came to recover his organs said, "I'm absolutely not doing this," and he left. The declaring physician went out and told Donna that he's not ready. He's woken up now. The hospital staff stepped in and stopped the case.
Where are you trying to get out to?
2 weeks later, Hoover was discharged from the hospital and sent home. He has lived with his sister ever since. He has severe neurological and physical limitations. After his aborted donor surgery, Martin said CODA convened an all-hands meeting.
We had a critical debriefing event, which is normally what we have when something terrible happens and where people are emotionally upset. Typically, these debriefings, they're just involving the people that were actually there or part of a case, but this was the entire staff. So that was the first red flag. And we are questioning, why was TJ waking up and no one said anything? We were questioning everything. And we were told at that point, what we did was right. We did what the donor wanted. We did what the family wanted. We did everything per protocol. And that's it. This should be a beautiful experience for everybody. It provides a silver lining to the family who is grieving their loved one's death. All the stories you hear, a mother who donated her daughter's heart to someone and she gets to take a stethoscope and go listen to her heart beating in someone else's chest. Those are the things that this is supposed to be about. We should never have stories of like what Donna and TJ went through. It should never be like that, where secrets are kept, people are mistreated, donors are basically abused.
Organ donation is credited with helping save tens of thousands of people. Last year, more than 23,000 donors enriched the lives of recipients, according to donation organizations.
We wasn't told about it, but TJ actually woke up during his heart cath and was sedated. But if we would have been told that he woke up, TJ wouldn't have been an organ donor.
When people check the box on their driver's license form indicating they want to become an organ donor, most don't realize the power they are giving to organ procurement organizations, say patient advocates, including Martin.
When you go to sign up, that is a legal binding document. It's just horrible because any good person is going to say, "Oh, if I'm dying and I'm not going to have a meaningful recovery, please give my organs to someone and help save a life." People are not told that there's a difference between a brain dead donor or a DCD donor. You wouldn't sign a loan for your mortgage without knowing all the ins and outs. But why are you signing your life away without proper information just because you're a good-hearted person that wants to help other people?
Donation after circulatory death, or DCD, now accounts for 49% of all donors, according to a recent study by the Journal of the American Medical Association. In 2000, that number was 2%, the study said. Most donations come from patients who have been declared brain dead, meaning neurological function is gone and irreversible.
Yeah,
DCD death.
What she said, that they put him under sedation. So he was sedated that whole time. He wasn't like brain dead. They sedated him. So his family thought that he was brain dead or thought that he was out of commission, and he really wasn't. They sedated him. That seems pretty illegal to me.
On the other hand, is declared when a patient's heart stops beating within a specific time period after life support is stopped. such as removing a patient's breathing tube. It has generated controversy because the patient is often in a coma and heavily sedated, rendering them unable to
Yeah.
move.
Okay, so you live in such a
After TJ was discharged from the hospital and sent home, Martin said she focused on recovering from the trauma of knowing he nearly lost his life on the operating table.
Some time had passed and I was scrolling through TikTok and I found Donna's account and I saw TJ's honor walk. And I reached out to Donna and we started talking about things. And I asked her, what are you doing now? How's TJ? We just developed this really great friendship. I was offered an opportunity to submit a letter to Congress. And one of the surgeons that I had worked with told me that there was an organ advocacy group that was going to this congressional hearing and they were looking for people to speak out about what they had seen. And if I was still interested in being a patient advocate, and I said, absolutely. So I talked to Donna and I said, this is going to...
Thank God for people like her. Seriously, thank God for this woman, because otherwise we'd never know, right? We would never know about this. And, this is a lot of it's for profit. They make money off of your organs, right? From insurance and everything. And she could have just kept her mouth shut and let that go, but she didn't. Thank God for these people.
Change your life. You're going to be put into the public eye. Are you okay doing this? And Donna, being the brave soul that she is, she said, absolutely, let's do this.
Nikki Martin testified last year before the House Ways and Means Committee in Washington.
In 2021, TJ Hoover was brought to the hospital in cardiac arrest. As a registered organ donor, his family agreed to honor his wishes. TJ had remained unresponsive, regaining consciousness during his cardiac catheterization. Immediately upon waking, he was paralyzed and sedated. Hospital staff described the situation as inhumane and akin to human euthanasia. The cardiologist present advised TJ should have never been given a grave prognosis with no meaningful recovery, given his reflexes present.
TJ Hoover's treatment is currently under federal and state investigation, as are other cases coordinated by CODA. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services issued a highly critical 25-page report last year citing serious and ongoing risk to patients and families in would-be donors monitored by the Kentucky agency. The initial probe documented 351 organ procurement surgeries that were ultimately halted, including Hoover's. More than 100 had concerning features, including 73 patients who displayed neurological signs of life, the HHS report said. At least 28 cases involved patients who may not have been dead when the organ harvesting process began, raising serious ethical and legal questions, the department said in a July press release. While in his ICU bed, a CODA coordinator wrote in Hoover's chart that hospital staff was extremely uncomfortable with the amount of reflexes patient is exhibiting. Hospital staff kept stating that this was euthanasia, and a CODA staffer explained to them that it is not, according to the federal report.
Wow.
Network for Hope is also now being investigated for possible Medicare fraud, according to federal officials.
What?
In September, the House Ways and Means Committee wrote to CEO Barry Massa requesting a slew of financial documents. The committee is investigating the extent to which your organization is being reimbursed by Medicare for substandard and unsafe patient safety procedures. In media reports and public testimony, Massa has denied his organization pressured hospital staff to harvest organs and says he and his employees are cooperating with federal regulators and have added new safety measures and staff training.
Okay.
The organization declined an interview request from Inside Edition Digital, citing pending litigation.
This is
TJ's
terrifying.
experience has also pushed federal officials and lawmakers to demand overhauling the country's organ donation network. U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. is one of those officials. And in these polarizing political times, he has rare bipartisan support on this issue. The entire system must be fixed to ensure that every potential donor's life is treated with the sanctity it deserves,
Yes,
Kennedy
true.
said in a statement last year. Nikki often visits TJ. She sits and talks with him despite his limitations.
The first time I met TJ, TJ and I were sitting on the porch swing outside, and TJ just laid his head on my shoulder. He's still there. And I think the hardest part for Donna is seeing him progress and then regress. Like, she sees glimpses of who he was, and it's like, oh, TJ's there, he's getting better, and then he's not.
Yeah.
Train.
Aw.
There are many hard things for Donna Rohrer. Her brother's loss of mental and motor skills, surviving on his disability checks, and having very little of her own life outside caring for him.
You're sitting down sideways on the chair.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, that's the arm.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is.
Some days I question his quality of life, and then other days I feel that I would like to have TJ's quality of life. He's able to sit and laugh and watch TV and not have a care in the world and be as happy as he can be. Some days I desire that peace.
But that peace isn't constant.
Sometimes just out of the blue, he'll be sitting and he's aware of what happened to him. And he'll say, all of those people thought they were going to get to live because of me. And he'll say, I feel bad because I lived and they probably didn't. And this is stuff he'll just think on his own.
That's so
It's bad that you have to feel guilt for living.
Yeah.
Donna says she has not filed a lawsuit against Network for Hope over
Why
her brother's
not?
case and has no plan to do so.
What do you guys think about this case? Do you think that they should tell you more about organ donating? Do you think that they should explain it a little bit more? Maybe go through the fine print with you of what you're signing off, your whole life? What is the deal with this? I didn't know that. I just thought that you had to be completely passed away and then they would take your organs, but apparently not. So it is a little bit scary. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and please like, subscribe, and comment. It really helps my channel and pushes awareness for situations and stories like this. Thanks, guys.